Hello there, all you bucket heads, and welcome all of you shinies to another episode of the most disorganized podcast on the internet. Welcome to Under the Helmet Podcast. If you like what you see here today, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment, share this video with your friends, your neighbors, your lovers, your enemies, share it with everybody, and of course, subscribe to Under the Helmet Podcast. So,
in addition to this, make sure to join the Discord. It's a fun place. We got a lot happening. I actually dropped memes in there for the first time in like a week or month or however long it's been. I made a meme. It's in there. Go look at it.
And just before the show started, Callahan was bullying me, so that's always fun. Thanks, Callahan. Very cool. Happy to see you in chat.
As always, we gotta roast Dylan as well. Anyway,
she's doing her best.
Yes, Callahan, as it was mentioned, the boys are back. The fellas, we are here.
And I feel like you both have changed your hair. Gabby, my hair is just wet because I got back from the gym and I took a shower.
I forgot to do my hair, so that is the change.
But yes, I also did get a slight haircut because little personal life thing is I met my girlfriend's parents for the first time last week. It was terrifying. But her dad's cool. Huge shout out to my girlfriend's parents. They're very cool. So
do they watch the show?
No. They have watched it before when she was watching it, but I don't think they'll go out of their way to watch it. So
such a shame. You're missing out. We could get some regular viewers here, Dylan.
Listen, I don't want them to go back in the back catalog and find the unnecessary horniness.
You don't want them to find the banner? My favorite banner to pull up?
They don't need to know about the sarcophagus. They don't need to know the things I've mentioned about Twi'lek women. They don't need to know.
Look.
They don't need to know because we're not going there. We're not going there. We're going to stop right now and we're going to drop this topic and let's get on to what we're here to talk about today, the Bad Batch. No.
Oh, yes, right. Bad Batch.
I haven't done anything that's sarcophagus worthy.
I have controlled the banners. I have to use them to pester you a little bit. Spices things up.
Callahan, your time will come, my friend. Your time will come.
If that's what you're wanting. It's okay to not have that as a priority in your life.
I'm clipping the don't need to know list. Oh my god. I'm so happy. I'm so happy you're clipping me.
Also,
that's great.
Speaking of clips, if any of y'all clip the show and you post it, tag us. We would appreciate that. It would be
exactly spread the word because clipping is hard. Not to mention the sarcophagus. The mention of the sarcophagus summons the sarcophagus. Oh,
it's
man.
It's like Beetlejuice.
All right. Anyways, let's get to the Bad Batch because for some people, the Bad Batch does make them unnecessarily horny.
Sorry, what?
Yes. There are people that are very, very thirsty over different members of the Bad Batch.
Oh, it's Tech and it's Charlie.
Yeah, there are people that go feral for Tech.
Look.
All right, you know what? Let's do it. So we were gonna do this as a Hothbreaker the other night, but I think it's perfect now. So there was a tweet going around that said the three genders are princess, slut, and loser. Who in the batch is what? Because I have mine. I have mine.
Hunter is princess and he hates it. He hates that it's correct. I hate to say it about Echo, but Echo is loser.
Okay.
Because he has lost so much. And he just keeps losing things. Like fives. And his left hand. Or is it his right hand? He doesn't have one of his hands. Sorry, that went a dark turn. I'm gonna sip my water now.
All right, I've got mine. So for me, princess is going to be Wrecker. Wrecker is the princess.
I support this. We support buff princesses that destroy things.
Yes, Wrecker is the princess. The slut, I'm actually gonna say Tech.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
Yeah, Tech is a slut, but he doesn't know he's a slut.
Yes.
And he kind of just like falls into these scenarios where like things are happening, and you know, he's like,
look, Tech.
He's bound to get it done.
If anyone understands this, Tech is the slut in the way that Egon is the slut. Egon could get it and doesn't.
Yes. And then loser, Crosshair.
So much
Crosshair is the big loser.
Ooh, what? Sorry.
Crosshair is the big loser.
Oh, absolute biggest loser. That it sucks so bad to be Crosshair. You are not allowed to eat lunch. You are not allowed to eat dinner. You will be called into the Imperial Principal's office by Dickhead McGee.
The problem is this. You know, I feel bad for Crosshair to an extent. But, you know, you ever have that one friend that's just like, you feel like misery just follows them?
I feel like misery follows him because he's killing people.
Well, also, misery follows him because he actively chooses misery. Especially because he doesn't have his chip. It's his choice.
Yeah,
and he's
actively choosing to make his life worse.
Crosshair looking in a mirror to find out find the person that ruined his life.
Yeah.
Yep. But it's all right.
Yes, Callahan. 6 minutes in the stream and Tech has been called a slut. That being said, am I wrong?
No.
Show of hands in the chat if I'm incorrect.
You are definitely correct with your assessment. But anyways, speaking of Crosshair, let's get into, in my opinion, probably popular consensus, the best episode of The Bad Batch, The Solitary Clone.
I know a lot of people have been big on The Solitary Clone. And Solitary Clone was, I think, part of the reason everybody liked Solitary Clone is because Solitary Clone was kind of Clone Wars 2, in my opinion.
It absolutely was.
We had clones versus droids. We had that. Sorry, someone has called falsehood in the chat. Callahan, what do you mean by this? I'm going to keep talking about Solitary Clone. We had that sort of, sieging the castle style of episode in which you start out here and you've got to get to this objective here, which is how a lot of Clone Wars episodes line up, actually. There's a lot of siege in the Clone Wars. Part of that is just because that's how war is. And so naturally we'll get to that because I also don't think that Solitary Clone is the best Bad Batch episode, but we'll get to my opinion on that. That being said, I understand.
That's a very spicy take you got there, Callahan.
Actually, I second this spicy take. I thoroughly love
very spicy take.
And part of why I love Faster is because it is partially because of, what I got to hear on Clone Army Radio. Because I got to hear Clone Army Radio's take on Faster this past Saturday. It's typically, honestly, how I start my morning. I open my morning, I head to work, and then I'll put on Clone Army Radio while I'm there, just in my headphones. And, it's a nice way to start your day. Charlie does research. I mean, John and Lito, they also, they do their research about these things, and they find all of the, extra bits outside of it. I personally wouldn't have known that George Lucas, before he went into movie making, wanted to be a race car driver.
I knew
That's what he wanted. And we see a lot of that in pod racing. We see that in swoop bike racing and Legends. But ultimately, We see it again in Faster with Riot Racers. Riot Racers I like those. I like those funky little pods. They're cool.
That was cool. It was a fun little episode.
Oh, yeah.
I will admit. But I want to get back to Solitary Clone because my favorite part about Solitary Clone and why I say it's one of the best episodes is because it is giving it, it's sort of giving the fans of the show what they want and what they've been told we're going to get. Because Bad Batch has been marketed to longer term fans as the show that's going to show the transition between the Clone Wars era Republic and the Galactic Empire. Well, we jumped into spoilers. We sure did. And you said it first.
I did.
So when it comes to Solitary Clone, one of the things that I really enjoy is seeing, the clones go into battle. We see Commander Cody again. We see Crosshair. We see them working together to, liberate this Imperial governor. And in the Clone Wars, it's done as a heroic thing, and it's framed like a Clone Wars episode to show the heroism of the clones and the droids. And we see clones get named and then maimed.
That was rough. And it's interesting because Cody still calls his troops by their names, even after the Empire. And I like that.
Absolutely. Even though Rampart calls them by their CT numbers, which is interesting, which shows. And another thing that was pointed out to me that I saw was the clones come in, they do all the dirty work. They go in, they die, they do their dirty work. And then right after all the fighting's over, the stormtroopers come in. And if you notice at the beginning of the episode, the stormtroopers fold like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like PK troopers. They fold immediately.
Well, because ultimately, when it comes down to it, stormtroopers are quantity over quality. That was the entire thing of the Tarkin Doctrine. The Tarkin Doctrine was, we don't have to do any actual work if our intimidation tactics are strong enough. That's why the AT-AT is as big as it is. The AT-AT was, engineering-wise, vastly superior to the AT-AT.
Where's that?
But the AT-AT was bigger. And it made a much more imposing figure when it's towering, stories above people, as opposed to the AT-TE, which has been climbed in multiple episodes. You can get on top of those things pretty easily.
Yeah.
Provided their legs aren't actively moving.
We just recently watched Empire and Return of the Jedi, so.
Yep. Take, for example, the Star Destroyer. The Star Destroyer is the backbone of the Tarkin Doctrine. It is this massive, massive capital ship that nobody wants to mess with because it's absolutely huge. And ultimately, it's got orbital bombardments to back it up. But they did that instead of focusing in on smaller fighters, which they could send out on their own. TIE fighters don't have life support. TIE fighters don't have hyperdrive. They have to have a Star Destroyer to deploy from. I could go on for a while about the tactics of the Galactic Civil War because it's very interesting how they specialized.
Absolutely. And what's really interesting to me is this idea of the Empire only sending in troops because they can't just orbitally bombard them to death.
Yep.
Like if the old Separatist senator, I can't remember her name right now, but if she had killed the governor, No, it wasn't Bonteri. She worked with Mina Bonteri.
Yes.
But what was interesting about it was that if she had just killed the governor, the Empire would not have sent in the clones. They would have just bombarded it from space like they did Sereno.
Yep.
But they didn't because they had ground that would be harder to replace than it would be for them to just blow them up and get a new one. That's why they sent the clones in.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing about the Empire. They're wasteful. If they don't see a direct reason to keep something around, they'll just wipe it off the face of the earth.
Absolutely. And what I found super interesting is that, we go through the episode and you see the clones get taken out one by one. It's Clone Wars-esque. Crosshair is hitting mad trick shots.
Oh,
I
yeah.
absolutely love that he shot right up the barrel of the AAT. That was really cool.
That was pretty cool. And
But
baiting him to get him to aim like directly for him for that shot was so good. It was so good.
But my favorite part in this episode is the standoff between Cody and the Separatist senator. And if you
Oh,
notice, the way what he does is very Obi-Wan. Very much you can see the impact of the Jedi that they had on Cody, because he's like, hey, listen, I don't want another war. You don't want another war. We've
right.
lost enough. Let's put our weapons down.
Yeah.
And another thing I find interesting is that the separatist lady says, in the end, Dooku was right. And it's something that we don't often explore because,
Yeah.
it was something I'd love to see explored further in Star Wars is
The Separatists.
Dooku's impact on the rebellion.
Ooh. Okay.
So, because you got to think, how would they view Dooku?
Mm-hmm.
How would someone like Leia view Dooku? Because publicly, it was not known that Dooku was Sith Lord.
Right.
He was a disgruntled Jedi
who had turned back
that saw the corruption of the Republic and fought against it. So it would be very interesting to see how that translates and how that. I would love to see a future like someone like Leia. What are her thoughts on a political figure like Dooku? Because I'm sure she grew up hearing that.
Oh yeah, and I think when it comes to
he
the
might
rebellion,
have name.
You good?
Same. Yeah.
Okay. I think when it comes to the rebellion, I mean, the rebellion has two extremes, and this was explored a lot in Andor. You have Mon Mothma, who ultimately really doesn't want to kill a bunch of people. Saw Gerrera, who is very okay with killing a bunch of people. I think Saw Gerrera would be vastly more attracted to Dooku's point of view than Mon Mothma would. Now, that's not to say that Mon Mothma wouldn't see, because ultimately, Dooku, when you take out him becoming a mustache melodrama villain in some of the Clone Wars episodes, because let's be honest, they do just have him as a villain to have him as a villain sometimes. We know this. It's understood. But take the Dooku that we see in Tales of the Jedi. Take the Dooku that we see in Dooku Jedi Lost. We're going to do a literary plug because this is Under the Helmet. We can't go an episode without talking about a book.
Even Dooku from Master and Apprentice. The few glimpses we get of Dooku in Master and Apprentice.
Absolutely.
I just listened to Master and Apprentice on audiobook, by the way. It's an absolute banger. If you have not listened to it or read it, you totally should.
We need an Under the Helmet reading list somewhere. We need to have that.
Read.
Not us.
Read a book.
You think we could get sponsored by a library?
No, you need an Audible.
That's not
Audible
bad.
If you're watching
Audible.
I actually really enjoy your service.
I am
an actual user and I do enjoy your service. Not hashtag not sponsored, but should be.
There you go. Yeah,
also,
I haven't.
If you have not read any Star Wars books in Dooku, you missed out on a really great character by the name of Rael Averross. And if you don't know who that is, read.
But anyway, when we take out,
I beg you.
What?
I said, use my knowledge. I beg you.
But when we take out, melodrama villain Dooku, we get a very, sometimes empathetic point of view. I think if anyone was going to be as closely aligned to Dooku as it could be across the Rebel spectrum, it's Cassian.
I see that.
Right? And the more you think about it, the more it makes sense.
It'd be a fun little retcon to have that Nemik's manifesto was partially inspired by Dooku.
Oh, that'd be something. That'd be something. And who's to say that it's not?
Yeah. Well, and you had said that Saw Gerrera would be closer to Dooku. I would disagree with that only because he hates the Separatists with a burnt passion because of his
Oh,
so that'd be the only reason. I feel like if you compared Saw Gerrera to Dooku, he would just kill you.
Fair.
Or you would get Borgullet. Or you'd get Borgullet. You know the truth. He sees through your lies. Borgullet. Hey Hope, how's it going? We are good talking about the Bad Batch.
Good.
And then going off on a tangent.
Yeah, we did go off on another philosophical tangent. I feel like we do a lot of those on here.
Well, you know, that's why people subscribe for our philosophical tangents.
I figure so. Or maybe the hope that one of these days they'll get to see what happens in the pre-stream chat. For those of you who don't know, the pre-stream chat consists of water breaks. Actually, a lot of water breaks. In that little 30-second timer, I am typically just dancing the entire time, whereas Dylan just sits here, just staring dead into his camera.
Giving him the Kubrick stare.
Dylan is just kind of, iPad kid Kubrick staring directly into his camera the entire time. And I'm just
You got games on your phone?
What?
You got games on your phone?
I will say, no, I won't. That and Dylan also gets to see me change quite a bit, because I will change costumes like 5 times before stream just to decide what fit we're gonna rock for today. So yeah. But that's the pre-stream.
But anyway.
We talked faster. We talked Solitary Clone. Do we want to talk about Indiana Jones? Because today's episode was unbridled Indiana Jones.
I want to talk about one more thing with Solitary Clone, and then we'll be done with this for now. But
I also want to talk about one more thing with Faster. So that's okay.
Where is Cody? Is he safe?
Yeah. What the hell?
Right?
I don't know.
Because at the end of it, they say Cody went AWOL.
Yeah.
I hope that he was not shot. Because Rampart has a thing for shooting clones.
He does. He really likes it. I think it's his form of stress relief. This man needs a therapist. Murder is not stress relief.
So, yeah. I just hope Cody is okay. And I don't want him to die. I would be very upset.
Would you like to hear a point of view that will absolutely destroy you inside?
Yes.
Okay. My thought is that the second that Cody goes AWOL, he gets himself a ship, goes to Utapau, and starts looking through the wreckage of where Kenobi might have fallen.
I hope so.
And that hurts. That hurts to think about.
He said, Callahan says he'll be back in episode 8, The Clone Conspiracy. I'll place a bet on it.
I'd absolutely believe that. I would absolutely.
They have to know that they have to know Obi-Wan lived because Sullust 1 was taken, Grievous's ship.
Oh yeah,
and how he tells him to keep looking, and Cody says, "Impossible. Nobody could have survived that fall." When, like, Cody, these are Jedi we're talking about. They have survived falls.
Unless you're Mace Windu.
Mace Windu at a Windu.
Mace Windu at it. Though that being said, do you think Cody saying nobody could have survived that fall and telling them, do you think that was him already trying to fight against his programming? Because we see when he talks about Obi-Wan, he's getting misty-eyed. He regrets. He has pain. So much of it. And I just want to give him a hug.
Two is so in the, I know it's not canon, but in the Revenge of the Sith novelization, Cody's thought, which is not canon because it doesn't talk about the inhibitor chips, but Cody's thought right before shooting at Obi-Wan is, man, I wish I didn't just give him his lightsaber back. That's the first thing he says. That's his only thought before blast him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang. Well, I'm glad that's not canon anymore.
That's why we read the books. It's my head canon. It's in my head canon. But yes, I hope Cody is okay. I really hope Callahan is right, saying that he'll be back in the clone conspiracy. It would be really interesting to see that they have like a prison for all the defecting clones.
Oh.
So we can see. So we can see. What's his name again? Hauser.
Yeah. I want to see Hauser again.
Oh, it would be nice to see like Cody and Hauser again, but they're in this like prison, and the Bad Batch break them out.
It would be really interesting to see Cody and Hauser because the two of them are similar and yet different. If you get what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Like they were both very duty-driven clones. But Hauser actively rebelled against the Empire where, Cody slipped out quietly.
That could be the favor that Rex calls in, because maybe Rex finds out about this prison. I don't know. Anything can happen. I'm simply just wildly speculating right now. So
I'll say this: if there's a prison, there's typically only one way out.
One way out.
I can't wait to see a bunch of people in the Andor prison jumpsuits just running through Star Wars Celebration. Like, it's going to be a new running of the Wilro Hoods.
Yes.
Like, I expect it to get to that level eventually. Which, if you don't know about the running of the Wilro Hoods, they actually talked about this on the behind the scenes of the Mandalorian documentary. Like the first Disney Plus documentary we got, because that was the first Disney Plus series we got. But it's Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni talks about, how big the Star Wars fandom has gotten, even for like the tiniest of things. And he talks about the running of the Wilro Hoods, which Wilro Hood, if you don't know who that is a guy who runs across the screen in Empire Strikes Back, holding what we now know looks like the Camtono.
It's an ice cream maker.
It's an ice cream maker. In universe, it is an ice cream maker, I think. Is that correct?
No, I think in universe it's a Cantomo, but the real life prop is an ice cream maker.
And it's just a guy runs across screen for like less than a second.
Ironically enough, like I said, my girlfriend and I just recently watched Empire Strikes Back. Shout out to my girlfriend. It's awesome. But we watched Empire and Return of the Jedi. And when Empire was going on, I actually, as Wilro Hood ran across the screen, this poor girl, I paused it and said, "Look, that guy's got an ice cream maker in his hand." And she's like, "Cool." And I'm like, "No, you don't understand. That's Wilro Hood." And she's like, "Who is that?" And I'm like, "He's just a side character who
is."
I haven't explained to her what a Glup Shido is yet. But
I was going to say, was Wilro Hood like the first Glup Shido?
I think Wilro Hood or anybody from the Cantina.
I was going to say, yeah, Cantina's just full of them.
Yeah, the
All
canteen
of
is
them.
full of Glup-Shitos. Maybe Wedge Antilles. You could consider him to be a
I
Glup-Shito.
don't consider him a Glup-Shido. I consider him like a
He's a
Wedge Antilles.
Glup-Shito at the time of original trilogy.
At the time of original trilogy, yes. Now we know
Yeah.
that he's a badass because there's comics upon comics upon comics, but he's the best pilot in the galaxy after the time of Anakin Skywalker being,
He's one of the best.
extra crispy. I think he's better than Han Solo.
Okay,
I'm going to go on record and say that Wedge Antilles is a better pilot than Han Solo.
This reminds me of another TikTok that I saw, and somebody was doing a ranking of 6 pilots in Star Wars who was the best from best to worst, and it was Anakin Skywalker, Luke Skywalker, Wedge Antilles, Han Solo, Poe Dameron, and Harrison Dula.
Okay.
And it was who was the best. And this
That's
person's
awful low for Hera. That's
So this-
awful low for Hera.
So no. Those were just the characters. So this person's ranking: Luke was number 1,
Okay.
Hera was number 2. I think she gave Anakin number 3.
Okay.
Wedge was 4.
I could see that.
Poe was 5. Han was 6.
Han was 6.
Well, you got to think. Han just does a lot of risky shit, and it just
He
works.
does. He does just
Han
kind
is
of.
less than skill. Like, you got to think.
Yeah.
Force Awakens Han. Is
Mhm.
that possible? I never asked that question until after I've done it.
Yeah.
This man quite literally flies by the seat of his pants. And
That's about all that he's got, given, the Falcon is held together with duct tape, a little bit of gum, and luck.
And dreams.
Pure luck and dreams.
And dreams.
Yeah. Give me just one moment. I'm going to be right back and check on something.
But yeah, Hera was number 2.
Cal accidentally hit enter.
Who hit enter?
Cal hit enter.
Yes, mommy, Hera number 2. But yeah, so who do you, out of that ranking, who do you think would be the best pilot and the worst pilot? I was surprised Wedge was ranked as high as he was. I like Wedge, but I thought for sure they were gonna put Poe Dameron higher than they did. If I had to pick my 6 from that, I would probably put Hera at number 1. I would say Luke at number 2. Poe at number 3. Anakin at 4. Wedge at 5. Han at 6. That would be my my ranking of that. So, because again, they're all really great pilots, but it's just one of those things that you gotta pick some. But yeah. Anyways, Callahan, Hera, Luke, Anakin, Poe, Han, Wedge. You put Wedge last? Put some respect on Wedge fucking Antilles' name. I don't think Eli muted their mic, and now we get the feedback. There is a reason we go by the most disorganized podcast on the internet, because we do be very disorganized. Anyways, let's hop in to the next episode of the Bad Batch faster. I will say, I don't know comics, so I only know the movies. You got to think, Wedge survived 2 runs on the Death Star. He survived 2 different Death Star runs and the Battle of Hoth. Not to mention, his speeder is the only snow speeder we see take down a walker. Rogue 2 gets blown up. Luke loses his gunner. The only snow speeder that takes down a AT-AT walker is Wedge Antilles and his gunner Jensen. They're the only ones. I just rewatched Empire twice, so I can confidently say Wedge is him. But yeah, he's the only non-main character to survive the battle of the first battle of the Death Star. Move him up to 4, shift everyone down. That's better. Yeah. Like don't get me wrong, these are all great pilots, but they're not. I would have put Hera as the best because Hera is just she's incredible. But anyway, I wanna say a little bit of my piece on Faster. I thought it was a really good episode of the Bad Batch. I just felt like Solitary Clone was such a hard act to follow that when you got to Faster, it was like, it's almost like switching from eating a chocolate chip pancake to like a banana pancake when you were expecting another chocolate chip.
Faster was chocolate chunk, and you know it.
What?
Faster was a chocolate chunk pancake. That episode was delightful.
Listen. Pause for a second. I like banana pancakes.
Okay.
I like chocolate chip pancakes.
Okay.
But I think the issue is when you're like if you are if you've had one meal and you're expecting more of that, but you get something else, you're like, okay, I'm not upset. I'm still eating a pancake, but a different pancake than what I was expecting. Was it an enjoyable episode? I wanted more Solitary Clone. So I was a little underwhelmed when it first came out. I've come around to it, but I was a little underwhelmed at first.
I see your viewpoint. Pancakes are really good. I have pancake mix. I might make pancakes tomorrow. I see your viewpoint, and I raise you. Space Bike go fast.
Space Bike does go fast. And also, I really enjoyed the pod racing in A New Hope. That's probably one of my favorite sequences in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
So I enjoyed the racing, and I enjoyed seeing all the wacky pilots. I loved the B1 head on the protocol droid body.
I've seen people theorizing that's the one from A New Hope, or not A New Hope, Attack of the Clones.
But 3PO gets his own body back. That droid gets destroyed.
Oh, yes. Also, I want to talk about this.
Because Kit Fisto deflects a bolt and it knocks the battle droid's head out of 3PO's body, and then R2 reattaches it.
Huh, nice.
Sorry.
So the big bad, Malegi, this giant Dawatin, which that is the name of their species. Fun fact about their species, we first saw them in Force Awakens. They keep growing throughout their entire life.
Yes, they grow up to a ton. Thanks, Star Wars explained.
Yeah, huge. Absolutely massive. You can play them in the Star Wars tabletop role-playing game, which I will actually be starting to run a campaign of that soon. We're debating if we're going to be posting that online somewhere or just keeping it as a home game.
I'm down either way because I will be a part of that game.
Yes, we actually need to talk character details if you have a moment after the show.
I thought we talked most of my character details.
Yes, we need to put down your stats.
Okay,
we'll get to that.
I'm down.
But yes, Ernie Hudson is now in Star Wars as Malegi, which is awesome because now we have a Ghostbuster in Star Wars. Not just any Ghostbuster, the man, the freaking legend that is Winston Zeddemore. Oh, yeah, Callahan's also going to be in that campaign if any of you did not know it. And, I'm hoping to get that on, going by February.
Nice.
I already have guest appearances lining up. So
I do have to say one of my favorite TikToks to come out of Faster is they did the what was the droid's name? The racer? Teo. They did they had Teo and they had the audio. It's like, oh, well, your teeth are finished, and Teo was like, where's my dick at? I think I sent it to you, but that was probably one of my favorite TikToks to come out of this.
I will say
the where's my dick at?
The delightful comedic timing of Teo's destruction, not just the first, but also the second time.
Oh my god! Listen,
This man should not catch a break.
this was one of those episodes that like you already knew what was going to happen beat for beat.
Oh yeah.
Like I knew
Well-
as soon as Teo got destroyed the first time, I'm like, Tech's going to be in the race. He's gonna get destroyed again, and Tech's gonna be in the race.
I saw some people thinking that Omega was going to sub in for the race, and Tech was going to be like running background, essentially. Doc Hudson in Cars.
I was happy to see Tech drive.
If you'll allow me a Cars reference, because ka-chow.
Yeah, I will say I'm kind of happy we got Tech in the race over Omega, because then everyone would have been like, "Oh my god, Omega's force sensitive." It's like, no, because all right, this is I'll talk about it. I will come out on this limb here. I actually like the idea of Omega not being force sensitive.
I'm all for it. Yeah.
If it happens, cool. I prefer that she isn't. Hey, what's up, Wolfchild?
Wolfchild, I missed you, man.
Welcome. We had a good turn. We've had a really good turnout tonight. I'm really happy with this. All right, so yeah, Faster. Do you have anything else you want to say about Faster?
I liked that episode. Space Cargo Fast.
It was fun. It was a fun episode.
Do we want to talk about Indiana Jones now?
Yes, we do. Let's talk about the Bad Jones.
The Jones batch.
I love the Indiana batch. Okay, this episode was one of those ones that I wasn't really sure about when I first watched it, but now that I've had time to kind of sit on it and digest, I really enjoyed it. Again, not one of my favorites, but I did get to enjoy kind of sitting on it and letting it stew. That would be cool. The Indiana patch. Omega might be an empath. Hunter can sense electromagnetic pulses. I think she can actually sense feelings. That would be interesting. That would be really cool. I like Omega getting with the pirate chick, which she's cool and all.
Yeah, I like it.
You know who I would love to see it like V's working for somebody?
Are you gonna say Hondo?
Of course I'm gonna say Hondo Onaka.
Yeah.
He is one of my favorites. I would love more than anything to see Hondo pull up and con the batch into a job. I would love it. Hondo Onaka. You owe me a lot of money. And, well, we've got 4 strapping clones right here. The Empire wouldn't want to know about that. And they're like, all right, what are we going to do? And Hondo's like, do a job for me. And I would enjoy that. I would enjoy an episode where the batch gets blackmailed into doing a job for Hondo.
I could see that. I think that'd be good.
I would love it. Especially because I loved his dynamic with Ezra.
Oh, who is this Ezra you speak of? I only know of Jabba the Hutt.
Oh, yeah, and Brom Titus.
Yes.
And Lando Calrissian.
Also Lando Calrissian.
But yes, I do love Hondo's relationship with Ezra, and it would be really cool to see him be a little bit more of a dick to Omega.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to think, this is Clone Wars Hondo, who's kind of
an ass.
Yeah, still kind of an asshole. So I would love to see him and the sort of the way the time he spent with the Jedi Padawans and how that kind of changed him. Oh yeah, he is Palpatine's grandson. I completely forgot about that.
Oh yeah, shoot! It's been a while since I've watched Rebels. If you can't tell.
Damn. I didn't know Rey had a brother.
Oh shit!
Haha. new Star Wars theory, new sequel era theory. Years after Rise of Skywalker came out, Ezra Bridger is Rey's brother. Confirmed. And it's confirmed because Ezra one time left some hair strands after he got his haircut between seasons 2 and 3 in some Imperial barber shop. And they took it and used those strands of hair to clone Snoke. So Snoke is a clone of Ezra Bridger. Oh my god, I'm gonna start choking.
Satine and Obi-Wan are Corky's parents. I fully believe that. Corky Kryze is Corky Kenobi.
Isn't he dead?
No. Actually, he's alive. In Legends, he's dead. But this isn't Legends now, is it? Let me put down my glasses.
Every time his camera cuts, it comes back with a different pair of glasses.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The glasses are growing. The army of glasses. But anyway, this was a fun little episode. Nice helmet. But
Thanks.
some would say it might be a helmet.
Let's cut the. That's the end of the broadcast.
Yep, that's the bit right there. Corky got her Roshamud. No,
my glasses.
No. Let me start choking. I think we're on something with this Ezra Ray theory. Yeah, I'm completely talking out of my ass, Callahan, but that could, if that happens, it's gonna be crazy. Because yeah, Ezra's in the unknown regions. Do you know where Jakku's close to? The unknown regions. Look it up, Sweaty.
Do you know what else is in the unknown regions? A lot of things that we don't know about because they're fucking unknown.
Thrawn, the Chiss Ascendancy,
Exegol.
Exegol.
Wait, no, that actually does add to the theory.
Exactly. Also, the Yuzong Vong are out there.
Wolfchild mom.
My mom. Wolfchild really said, "You know who else is in the unknown regions? My mom." You know who else is in the dad who went to get milk is in the unknown regions.
Oh no.
All right, let's get back. Let's curb the unknown regions talk and let's get back to this Bad Batch episode. It was a fun little episode. I have to say the worst part of it though is when the droid died.
Yeah, what the hell?
I was rooting for this man. I was cheering for him. He was doing what can only be described as his best. Our sanity's in the unknown regions. But yeah, that little droid was doing his best, and watching him get lasered very much upset me. I was so sad. That was the first time I felt something all episode. I was like, no!
Part of my Alice pack frame is in the unknown regions. That's why I couldn't find it when I went on Instagram Live the other night. I still don't know where that part is. I just bought a new Alice pack frame.
Nice. Did they? Is it just me? Did they seriously steal the Indiana Jones score? Like note for note, they copied the whole fucking flow, word for word, bar for bar.
Not quite note for note, but it was definitely there.
Word for word, bar for bar. Okay.
I think part of it was that any time that something startling happened, they played the like, you know, that.
Do you know what this episode really reminded me of, though, more than anything else? The Dr. Aphra comics.
Ooh, I love Dr. Aphra. I love Dr. Aphra.
So this is a very similar premise to a Dr. Aphra comic. So that's cool. The Heart of the Mountain.
Tangent of that, Black Chrysanthemum is the first comics character that we've had come onto the big screen. We even had him come into live action first.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we could see Dr. Aphra come into either animation or live action?
Like a young Dr. Aphra?
Just Dr. Aphra.
It would be interesting to see a young Doctor. You know, it would actually be really interesting to see a young Doctor Aphra in the Bad Batch. Didn't the lights on the giant robot remind you of the Wills, or is it just?
That's not a connection that I'd made.
I
Yeah,
don't
the
know.
Guardians of the Wills. From that Yoda episode in the Clone Wars at the arc at the end.
Okay.
Six.
You know, I can see it.
No, I can see that. Yeah,
I can see it. That's very true. I think it was super interesting too, having it get up and just basically be a walking kaiju Death Star. That was cool. Also, what's the Horizon Zero Dawn is what it's called. It looked ripped straight out of
the tall necks.
Yeah, I've not played the game, so I don't know. But I thought
also not. I just know the Lego set.
Exactly. It looked exactly like that Lego set. I was like, isn't that a Lego set that they're selling?
Yep.
But it looked really cool. It looked really, really cool. And it definitely, you know, I honestly think that it fits Star Wars really well. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing that.
Okay, so Dr. Aphra was born in 24 BBY. Honestly, if we were going to see her at any point in time, we were likely going to see her in Rebels during kind of that era. Oh, you know where she could pop up? And this would be kind of weird. Andor is the most probable place for Aphra to pop up other than Bad Batch.
Okay.
Because that's really the times of any currently occurring projects.
Well, think we got young Fennec Shand, so we could possibly get a young Dr. Aphra.
Either that or Mando. Aphra could pop up in Mando.
Okay.
No, because consider Mando is 5 ABY. Aphra would be 29.
Oh, you mean Dr. Aphra appear in The Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were saying like having Mando appear in the Bad Batch, and I was like, no,
that's not happening. We don't need Din Djarin to invade everyone's show.
Yes,
just Boba Fett's.
In his own.
I don't think that's invading. Okay. He lives there.
But yeah, this was a fun episode. I will say this, and so when it comes to the Bad Batch, the word filler gets brought up quite a bit.
Oh yes, are we talking about the Filoni formula?
So we talked about this a little bit before the show, and I think when it comes to like a show like the Bad Batch, same with Rebels, same with Clone Wars, it takes time. They really do need to let them cook. Even there's some certain episodes of The Mandalorian that people call filler. But I think the Bad Batch is I don't want to say the worst offender, but because we don't know the direction, the filler, and I use the term filler very loosely, the filler feels a little bit more egregious. Like, because we're wanting episodes that come into the plot. And even if it's just like a clip at the end, like this episode, if you wanted to tie it back into the plot, I feel like you could have done that very easily. You have, because a giant energy disturbance on a planet, that would draw the Empire's attention, especially a pre-Death Star Empire that's trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
It would be really interesting to see Imperial scientists show up and start studying it, taking parts out of it, and maybe even like finding Omega's fingerprints or something like that.
I would say analyzing the weapon.
Yeah,
analyzing easily
and showing, maybe this having something to connect it to the larger universe as a whole.
You know what would have been interesting? Showing either Galen Erso or Krennic at the site, taking
Exactly.
it in,
Or
analyzing.
even something that could indicate, like we saw the little droid that got destroyed. What if a part of him survived? And one of the last things that they have of him is the Bad Batch. And we have Krennic, and he pulls it up and he goes, "We're gonna need to contact, Admiral Rampart." Just to show that the Empire is on the Batch's case. Because right now it feels, I think the biggest question is, where is this show going? And I think that is something that that's frustrating, is where's this show going? Where's this season going? And we're only 5 episodes in?
Yeah.
We have time. Not every episode has to progress the plot, but I feel like we need to strike, like The Mandalorian struck a balance.
Yeah.
Because it's only 8 episodes. So when they'd have a filler episode, and then they would have something to progress the plot. And Rebels would do this too, where they would have a filler episode. Like for example, we talked about this in the pre-show, the Meilu Run episode of season 1. You think, okay, there's no way this is going to tie back to the main story, but then the TIE fighter that Zeb and Ezra stole. So, and again, we don't have the full picture. So there might be something that we don't know about yet. That's a connection that won't be established until after the season's over. There's no way to know right now. But it just feels like there needs to be something more kind of pushing the plot along. Because one of my biggest complaints about season 1 of The Bad Batch is that there are a lot of side quest episodes that don't really feel like they contribute much to the plot, and doesn't really feel like they develop the characters too much. Like this one, I feel like it developed the characters at the very least. Like Faster gave Tech a ton of character development. It gave, it told us to be wary of Sid, So in that sense, it's small, but it contributes to the overall story. Whereas this one, I didn't really see that much character development or progression. It was more like, when your sibling drags you to the mall, and you're like, I don't want to go to the mall, but they're like, please, and it's like, oh, fine, I'll take you to the mall, and then you get dragged along, even though you don't want to be there. And that was sort of the vibe that, like, even the Batch didn't want to be there, like half of them. Like the only person that like was happy to be there was like Wrecker and Omega. But Wrecker's always happy. He's doing stuff.
He's just enjoying himself. Just vibing out in the galaxy.
Like, so I don't know. I just want to see more from this show. And I know we're going to get it. So I'm not pressed about it. I'm not upset. But it is something I felt like it would be very disingenuous if I didn't talk about criticisms I have of the show, because we're allowed to criticize things. We're allowed to not like everything. But again, we've talked about this when it comes to previous episodes, legitimate criticisms and illegitimate criticisms. And if I just said it's bad because it's filler, like, that's not fair. That's not a legitimate criticism.
Right.
Giving legitimate criticism is, I didn't like it because of this, and this. I felt it didn't really progress the characters properly. Because what is the point of a filler episode or a side quest type episode but to develop your characters? It's to flesh them out and give them more to do. But the problem is it didn't do that. I didn't feel like it lived up to that. It's bad because I don't like it. Yeah, cross your arms. I don't like it because it's bad. There's no clone troopers going shooty shoot at the battle droids, and I don't like it. Like, and I make it no secret, I really enjoyed Solitary Clone. not every episode is going to be Solitary Clone, and that's okay.
Do we want to move
Go ahead and get
into
into the Filoni formula real quick? I want you to talk about the Filoni formula. I think it's important.
me? So
Sit
I'm
with
going to
me.
try and remember what the Filoni formula is. But the Filoni formula is this idea, and this happens in a lot of Dave Filoni shows, that, you know, as we're watching the show, we get to see all of these different episodes, and I might have entirely lost what I was initially talking about. I've talked about this. If you've heard me talk about Star Wars shows, you've heard me talk about the Filoni formula at some point. And I have a couple different Filoni theories. One is about like Ahsoka style characters when we first meet them. But another one is that Filoni, when he's building up his shows, takes his time. And we see this because not every episode is going to be the Solitary Clone. Not every episode is going to be like Trials of the Darksaber in Rebels is a great example. Rebels honestly is a great example of this because in season 1 we have a lot of these, we're going on adventure episodes. And yeah, I did not notice that either. And it's a fun little isolated adventure. If you've ever played a tabletop campaign, it's like a tabletop campaign side quest. It's like a side quest in a video game. And side quests exist to give substance. If we just brought something down to the base of the story and didn't branch off at all, everyone would complain that it's too short. But because we have these side quests or these filler episodes, we get this beautiful story that weaves and bounds, and side quests ultimately are there to introduce something. They add something. This was added in because ultimately, before this, we'd seen Fi for like 2 lines, and one of them was her hitting on Tech. Now, that being said, excellent start to a character. Cannot fault them for it. But this was a great introduction to Fi as a character. We have this kind of pirate treasure hunter aspect, which we hadn't really seen much in Star Wars. We see it a bit, kind of, with Hondo, a bit, kind of, with Dr. Aphra, but we hadn't seen specifically treasure hunter. And I like that. I like that a lot. I got a soft spot for treasure hunters. Yes, even if that something is just a break from the action and drama, that's okay. Not everything has to be go, 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 go. You see this a lot with Andor. Andor's not a lot of go, 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 go. Andor is a long, long fuse on a candle, but that candle is dynamite. And when it gets to the end, it's going to explode, and it's going to go everywhere. Absolutely. Yes. Trials of the Darksaber and the Callus Zeb episode. The Callus Zeb episode is one of my favorites of the series that nobody remembers properly. Because that episode is a
you don't know. You're not on that side of TikTok then.
Oh, really?
There are people that there's people that ship Callus and Zeb, right?
I am one of them.
Okay, good. Okay. But yeah, there are people that ship that, and they pick that episode apart.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the enemies to lovers trope.
It really is.
But I mean, listen. I'm interested. I'm interested in it. Not only because it would be it'd be 2 dudes, which would be great. Yes. But more importantly, it would show something that we've only ever seen like one time in Star Wars. One time that I can think of off the top of my head, and that is interspecies relationships.
Yeah. I mean, the only other time is also in Rebels. Oh, wait.
Cut LaQuaine and his wife.
Oh, yeah, shoot. But also Rebels.
Who's in Rebels?
Kanan and Hera.
Fuck!
You dense motherfucker!
God damn it! didn't even think of that. Fucking hell, man.
My guy. Yes, Zeb needed more solo episodes. He's a beautiful character that didn't get fleshed out enough.
Damn.
Oh my God, Dylan.
How did I forget Kanan and Hera?
I'm sorry. I did the fucking syndrome, you dense motherfucker meme to you. I didn't mean to do that.
Bro, I was just hyper focused on Cut LaQuain.
That's okay. He's a nice character. I'm glad we got to see him in Bad Batch. You forgot the two of the main characters in Rebels. You forgot Mom and Dad. Why did you do that? We even got to see their kid.
I can tell it's more disappointed Eli and Dylan himself. Dylan himself.
Yeah. I'm not
All right.
mad. I'm just disappointed. But anyway, the Filoni formula. These so-called filler episodes exist to either introduce concepts or develop our characters. And we don't see it now. That's the thing. With filler or just side quest episodes, you don't see their importance until the end. Once you finally get there, you're going to look back and be like, okay, I see why that was there. Take, for example, Fight or Flight, the Melu Run episode. That was important because Zeb and Ezra were actually distracting the Empire so that Cassian Andor and his crew could pull off the Aldhani heist. And if they had not distracted the entirety of the Empire's forces to Lothal, they would not have drawn away the attention from Aldhani.
Okay. Before we move on to news and rumors, I'll do the YouTuber half apology thing. Okay.
God. Yeah,
so wait. Let me
Yep, there you go. Wet those cheeks.
Yeah.
Get it going.
Hi guys.
Good exhale.
I know a lot of you are here today because you're disappointed in me. And honestly, I'm disappointed in myself. I on a recent episode of Under the Helmet podcast, we were talking about interspecies relationships in Star Wars. And I suffered a grave and serious lapse of judgment. And I forgot to mention Kanan and Hera. Sorry, guys. I misspoke, so you know it's authentic, and I'm doing this in one take, because it's from the heart. It's from the heart. And I think I'm gonna take some time to do better, and to better myself, and I'm gonna step back and listen to the community of interspecies relationships in Star Wars and just take the time to reflect and to learn and grow. So I just wanted to say thanks for the views. I'm sorry. And I will do better.
Okay.
So please stop canceling me on Twitter.
I don't know how you. Honestly, I would give you an Oscar if I could for doing all of that while I actively fell out of my fucking chair.
I was holding it in. That's why my eyes were closed. I was like, just start laughing. What can I say? The perks of being an actor. All right, let's go ahead. Let's move into news and rumors because I want to talk about probably the biggest bit of news that high school me would be devastated.
I was going to say the tragedy that has befallen your emo phase.
Yeah. The writing sins, not tragedies. Panic at the Disco is breaking up. Repeat, Panic at the Disco has broken up. Apparently, Brendan Urie is kind of a shithead, though, so people aren't upset about it.
I
So,
was going to say, after going through 15 billion different members over the year, he's finally decided he's not going to try and look for new ones.
all right, R.I.P. Panic at the Disco.
We'll say, solid songs. I like the music.
Got some solid songs.
I
Brandon-
also like
Brendan Urie
in-universe
did
Star Wars
feature
music.
Bohemian Rhapsody, though.
Hmm?
He did do a live show where he sang Bohemian Rhapsody, and he absolutely butchered it. So, it's on TikTok. It's going around, and it's bad. Like, I can't sing, and I feel like I could do a better job.
I can. Maybe I could. I haven't listened to it.
Oh.
Getting into news and rumors.
Also, another thing, completely unrelated to Panic at the Disco, Fall Out Boy dropped an absolute banger of a song. If you have not listened to it yet and you are into like emo music, go give it a listen. It's on Spotify. They're coming out with an album in March. So,
Oh, nice.
thank you, Fall Out Boy. Very cool. It's not a phase, Mom.
Okay.
Now let's move on to Eli's 300 points.
It's only 55.
Only 55. Okay.
I know, right? So
good week for
let's
me to get
see. New reports indicate that Ubisoft's massive Star Wars game will boost a fully open, seamless universe akin to that found in No Man's Sky. Very excited about that. Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are reportedly developing a new Mandalorian spin-off with the codename Ghost Track 17. Very excited about that. All 4 scrap metal kits have been updated with new parts at Savi's workshop. Very excited about that because I'm going back in May for May the 4th. I will be there for May the 4th. Gabby and I are going. We're very excited about it. Runtime for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania will be 2 hours and 5 minutes. The next Star Wars movie, it's written by Damon Lindelof, who wrote Watchmen, directed by Charmin Obaid Chinoy, possibly butchered that name, who directed Ms. Marvel. Dave Filoni is included in the early writers' room. It's set after The Rise of Skywalker. There's an all-new cast with female lead. Sequel trilogy characters may also appear. Filming starts this year. Release schedule for 2025, and it's going to be revealed at this year's Star Wars Celebration. Stop the clock. I need to use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Oh God, I don't have any other news or rumors.
Figure it out, Dylan.
Okay. Now this is the bit in news and rumors where Dylan actively spreads misinformation on the internet. So let's see here. What can I pull out of my ass? What exciting has happened recently? I have no idea. So Eli sees the news and the rumors, and they like actively save them. I don't. Oh. Star Wars just posted an Andor clip. That's cool. Let's see here. Oh, I know what I'll talk about. So recently, I was scrolling through our Instagram, the Under the Helmet Instagram. If you don't follow that page and you've made it an hour and 13 minutes into this video, you should definitely follow us on Instagram. Every now and then we post stuff. But I recently followed a fake newscaster. No, I just am actively spreading misinformation on the internet. No biggie. But yes, so huge shout out to our newest follower, Droid Protocol Official.
I saw that this happened earlier today.
I was recently looking at their work because I made a joke about building a C-3PO, and then, you talk and they shall appear. So huge shout out to this person. Their work is incredible. They are apparently the only naked C-3PO.
Wait a second. They followed us?
Yeah.
I've been following this guy since like day one. Holy crap.
Yeah. This guy followed us.
You're kidding.
Yes.
Why are they looking at us?
I'm fully dead ass. I can. So that's news.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that's kind of news. That's wow. Okay. Oh, speaking of news, Marvel Studios is reportedly developing a Strange Academy series focused around Wong and featuring America Chavez, with Abomination also possibly appearing because that's where he's at right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and what's funny about that is I thought I followed this person on my my personal page. So I was when I got the under the helmet notification new follower, I was like, oh, cool. And then I looked and I saw who it was, and I was like, what?
Yeah. Let's see. That's the same thing.
Okay. 3 hours ago, this is from Star Wars. D. Bradley Baker recently said this about performing as Commander Cody in the Galactic Empire era. He said, "Well, as all the fans know, and I think love about the clones, is that the clones exist in a moral universe. When they see it, they have the humanity and the intelligence to start and inspect the contrary of what they may have always been said or believed." Yeah. Thank you, D. Bradley Baker, for being awesome and putting this much thought into your characters.
Yeah. Continued news: the Batman star Colin Farrell reveals that the Penguin HBO Max series will begin production this February and will last from 6 to 5 months long. Very excited for that. According to Ember on Culture, Adam Driver is on the shortlist for Reed Richards. According to me, I am on the shortlist for Reed Richards. According to Dylan, Callahan's on the shortlist for Reed Richards.
Exactly. I don't want to be Reed Richards.
Dylan doesn't want to be Reed Richards, but he'll happily spread misinformation while I'm gone. Thank you, Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan wants to be Johnny Storm.
Other news: Nova, which originally was hinted to be a special presentation, is going to be a film.
Nice.
And apparently Nova is going to be a sort of passing of the torch, which is interesting because we don't have a Nova yet. Also, breaking news: a bear named Big Boy was raiding honey production facilities during or near Turkey's Trabzon Sirmin province. Agricultural engineer Ibrahim Sadef saw an opportunity and used Big Boy's night raids as a test to determine which type of honey was the best. In multiple double-blind trials, Big Boy always preferred the rare, expensive Anzer honey, followed closely by chestnut, flower, and pinewood honey. Big Boy noticeably steered away from low-quality supermarket cherry jam made with corn syrup. Bear studies.
Good to know.
Didn't expect that, did you?
I'm so glad we added that to news and rumors. Speaking of news and rumors, if you like bears, there's a new movie coming out soon just for you. It's called Cocaine Bear, and we will in fact be watching it and doing an episode on it.
We will?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
We are definitely doing a Cocaine Bear episode.
Okay. We still need to do the.
Will be our first movie. Will that be our first movie review of the year?
It might be.
Yes, our first movie review is gonna be of Cocaine Bear.
Yay! Okay. Stiltman and Mr. Fear are set to appear in Daredevil Born Again, and let me tell you, I am so excited about Stiltman. Stiltman.
Marvel villains. Oh, also apparently for the new Daredevil series, they brought on some of the writers from The Flash, early seasons, and Arrow.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw that today.
Okay, that's interesting.
Unless Quantumania is the first. Quantumania, Cocaine Bear. Seems pretty easy to me.
Let me see. What about
also, I'm definitely taking my girlfriend to see Cocaine Bear.
Oh,
we should do it. I should vlog it.
What?
I should vlog taking my girlfriend to see Cocaine Bear.
No. Also because you can't do that because recording movies is illegal.
We're not gonna record the movie.
Oh.
Just record us going to we'll make it like a date out of it.
That's a bad idea for multiple reasons, but I won't get into that. Anyway, the world's first brain implant made to treat depression is going to be starting its second human trial.
Hey, yo, get that anti-sad chip.
Yep. So, kind of cool. What else do I have? Oh, Ghost is apparently no longer appearing in the Thunderbolts, but will be in a secret project.
Yay! I'm so excited to have a team of all super soldiers. We've never had that before.
Woo!
MCU. That's so cool.
Other news.
Damn. The one person with cool powers. They're like, yeah, writing people with powers is hard. Let's just do punchy, kicky, hard people.
We also apparently haven't seen the entirety of the Thunderbolts lineup. There are characters that weren't shown that are actually a part of it. Ever since Iger took back over and kicked out Paycheck, things are going a little different now. Anyway, Tom Hanks is in talks to join the MCU, but in a major villain role.
Wait, Gabby, you don't want to see Puss in Boots?
I've literally not seen a single bad review of it. Every review I've seen has been talking it up.
Who's your favorite fearless hero? You know, I probably need to, you know what? Change of plans. Let's go watch Puss in Boots, and then we'll do a review of Puss in Boots.
We can do a Puss in Boots episode.
Pussy Boots.
Also, apparently, James Gunn has said that Chris Pratt and the Guardians cast will likely be joining his DC universe. So,
James Gunn,
I will say,
please stop talking out of your ass. I know you tweeted a picture of you reading All-Star Superman the other day. Please stop talking out of your ass. You have no plan for DC. It's okay. Just
I'm gonna
please
say
stop
this.
talking out of your ass, bro. Please.
I'm going to say this. Dave Bautista has wanted to play a super intelligent Bane for a while now, and I think we should let him.
I think so too. Have you
I think that would be amazing.
Have you seen Glass Onion?
I've not seen Glass Onion. I'd be okay with that being a movie review as well.
Oh, Glass Onion, so good. No, Chris Pratt is not going to be Superman.
But he is going to be Mario.
Oh God, shoot me.
He might be animated Superman.
No.
Also,
No.
I'm very happy about this. Reportedly, Selena Gomez has joined the cast of Agatha Coven of Chaos.
I'm so glad she is reprising her role as Alex Russo from Wizards So Favorably Played.
Shut your fucking mouth.
For all these
Love
years.
Selena Gomez. Shut your mouth.
And you know it's gonna be a ring. Hey, I fucking love Wizards of Waverly Place.
Good, as you should.
Please.
Oh, yeah. Weird question for everybody. Everybody remember that end credits scene from the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 where a bunch of the Ravagers showed up and we're talking about like forming a crew to do some good? Is that ever going anywhere? Like, anywhere?
Maybe.
Guardians 3? Maybe?
Maybe they'll be in Guardians 3. Who knows?
Do you think James Gunn just forgot about that?
Probably not.
Okay. Oh, and I'm going to cap tonight off with some of the best news. Best news. Morbius has earned Razzie nominations in 5 categories: Worst Picture, Worst Actor, Worst Supporting Actress, Worst Director, and Worst Screenplay. And I hope it wins all 5.
Morbius sweep! Morbius sweep!
If that's the way it's sweeping, I'm A-okay with a Morbius sweep.
It's a waste of Sylvester Stallone, Michael Rosenbaum, and Miley Cyrus. Wait, Miley Cyrus was in that? What the fuck?
Yeah, Miley Cyrus was the robot.
Oh, cool, more sweet. But yeah, there's a new song out. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
My girlfriend loves it.
Oh, also, Steph Green is going to direct an Ahsoka series episode, who was the one who directed episode 2 of Book of Boba Fett, which a lot of people regard as a favorite.
Book of Boba Fett's one of my favorites. All right. Do we have any other news and rumors?
No, that's it.
I think we should end with the Morb sweep. All right.
Well, I guess. All right.
Morbius sweep. Well, with that being said, thank you so much for joining another episode of Under the Helmet podcast. If you enjoyed what you've seen here today, don't forget to like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe to Under the Helmet podcast. Also, don't forget, join that Discord and follow us on Instagram. Okay, now that we're done throwing banners out at each other. Yeah, so like, comment, share, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, join the Discord. Yep, that's pretty much it right now. Stop clicking my banners, you little. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.
We will
Thanks
see
for
you
coming out.
next time we go.
Under the Helmet. Cool.